Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again. It's good to be with you again. From wherever you are joining us, I'm sure there are many people here on our continent of Africa. Big welcome to you. Whether you are in the West, the East, the Southern Africa, a big welcome. And also many of you joining us from the diaspora. I see that we have people from outside our continent, and you are also very welcome. I also see there are some people from uh, other parts of Africa, and wherever you are coming from, wherever you are doing our business, we are glad to know that you are representing us wherever you are. Thank you very much once again. My name is Betty Oloo. For those of you who are new to our training sessions, as always, it is my great pleasure to spend this half hour with you, talking about our products and how we can position ourselves to provide people with our very good products that help in very many ways to make people have a healthier and, of course, a healthier life, and, of course, also a way to make money as business people. So, as you will have seen from your invitation of this evening, my session is going to be about reproductive health. And this actually, I want to thank those of you who sent me the suggestions. There were a number of questions related to this particular topic. And so I thought to put them together and make it, join it into this topic and see if I'm going to include some of the questions that I received that are related to it, as well as speak about reproductive health in general. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I'm very hopeful that the session is going to be of great benefit to you in your private capacity, in your business, as well as in the lives of those whom you come across. So when we speak about reproductive health, we are speaking about health in general, because we cannot have just one healthy part of our body while the rest is not. So the start of reproductive health is, of course, general health, general bodily health. And this means, of course, cultivating a good and healthy lifestyle that supports the health of our entire selves. So the priority of any couple who are hoping to conceive will be to start making good lifestyle choices that are going to support their health, and to ensure that they are healthy as they prepare for the very important task of parenthood. And that means that the factors we are always discussing will come into play. So I'm always repeating this, but I believe it is a good thing to repeat them, because some of us who are attending will be new, and sometimes we forget about some of these points. So I'll go over them quickly, not all of them, of course, but the ones that just come to mind for me. So we are always talking about eliminating refined sugar, as well as excessively processed foods like refined grain products, junk food, and so on. So these should be eliminated from our diet, not only for reproductive health, but also for our general health. And we don't have to wait until we have symptoms of sickness. We can be proactive and start cleaning up our diet and removing some of the problematic foods. And then the next thing we always mention is to consume adequate amounts of good quality protein foods, as well as other minimally processed food. We'll think, for example, foods like leafy green vegetables. We'll think about certain fruits. Normally, because a lot of our fruits these days have been hybridized to be very, very sweet. For those of us who have got maybe sugar metabolism issues, the beginning of it, or it is already advanced into diabetes, it is probably not wise to consume large amounts of very sweet fruit, but to opt for the less sugary ones. And then, of course, we also speak about incorporating movement and exercise in our lifestyle. We prioritize adequate amounts of sleep, a minimum of 7 hours of sleep per night. And of course, we also take steps to resolve stress, and we eliminate. These are some of the things that go into our general bodily health. which will also be relevant in our reproductive health. In addition to that, there are things like eliminating substance use and abuse. For example, the use of things like cigarettes, cannabis, excessive use of alcohol, this should be attended to. And then we should also try to minimize or eliminate hormone disruptors, for example, those environmental toxins like plastic residues, pesticides, and so on, or using toxic home care agents. These should be removed because those the toxins that come from them act as hormone disruptors, and when the hormones are disrupted, it can interfere with our reproductive health, and in fact can even lead to certain diseases that will enter our body as a result of our body trying to deal with those toxins. But moving on from there, I wanted to mention there were questions about fertility for both men and women. So I wanted to mention a little bit about that. So the reduced fertility can have various types of causes. And as distributors, I think I should emphasize that we need to be careful about overpromising results when we don't know the cause of the fertility problems. This is because not all fertility problems can be resolved by use of supplements. And so we should try to get some background information if possible, but if not possible, we should also be upfront and tell them that certain of the fertility problems can be helped by the use of supplements and lifestyle choices, but others cannot. So for example, we can have a situation in which, as a result of previous infections, the fallopian tubes in a woman or the ejaculatory tubes in a man have become blocked due to scarring that results from that infection. So the infection might have been cured and is gone, but in the process of healing from it, scar tissue might form. And as you know, even with other types of injuries, different people scar in different ways. So people who have very thick scars may form such serious scars that the tubes will be badly blocked, and the use of supplements might not be able to help. So this is just to emphasize that we should not promise that, yes, if you take supplements, your tubes are going to open and you're going to be able to have normal fertility. It may be that the fertility might improve to a certain degree, but it might be on the lower side because of the obstruction caused by the scar tissue. So, however, just to say that our products can help certain kinds of causes of infertility. So, for example, if the cause is something to do with hormone imbalance, some types of hormone imbalances can be rectified by the use of our supplements. Some nutritional deficiencies also can lead to reduced fertility, and by using the supplements, that can be corrected. And then, of course, if the cause of the reduced fertility is the result of certain metabolic illnesses, like, for instance, something to do with sugar metabolism, then by using our products to normalize the sugar metabolism, we will then be able to improve the fertility and help the client that we are with. So, of course, as always, as distributors, we should be willing and able to educate on how our lifestyle choices can contribute to illnesses that lead to reduced fertility. And we have got illnesses such as PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome is the full name for it, problems such as endometriosis and fibroids. And by letting people know how to resolve these problems, we can then be able to help them to improve their fertility. Of course, problem with sugar metabolism usually leads to prediabetes or diabetes, and by having a problem with sugar metabolism, we find that it can be the reason why there are unwanted tissue growths in the body, like fibroids and things like that, and cysts and so on. So the resolving of the problems of sugar metabolism can be very important in normalizing the general health, but also improving the level of fertility. So then I want to move on to my next part, which is to do with the supplements that we can recommend for supporting general reproductive health. And we have got the herbal preparation, the herbal feminine complex for women, and the herbal masculine complex for men. These are herbal preparations that help to balance the reproductive hormones so that they can work correctly and effectively to support the reproductive system of both men and women. So the ladies will recommend the feminine and the gents will recommend the masculine. In addition to that, for both of them, we can recommend Pro Vitality for them to use. If maybe as a result of some financial constraints, at least they should have 3NN, because 3NN is going to form the good foundation of supporting cellular health. And this will mean that they will benefit from all the other good nutritional choices that they make. So Pro Vitality, if possible, but at a minimum, 3NN is the next product we'd recommend. The good thing with 3NN, of course, is that, with the Pro Vitality, is that apart from containing 3NN, it also will contain omega-3 salmon oil, which will help to resolve inflammation that drives some of the fertility problems that we find. Then another supplement that we have in this list will be vitamin E, which improves the quality of the sperm, and it also improves the cervical, the layers of the cervix, so that they are supportive of fertility. Because in some cases, the reduced fertility can be as a result of problems to do with the actual surface of the cervix of the woman. So for both men and women, we recommend vitamin E as a supplement for them to use. And then we also add chelated zinc, which is important in supporting many aspects of male sexuality, that is the male hormones, as well as sexual performance. So chelated zinc is important there for the gents. Then for general supplementation, we recommend multi for men, and for women, we would recommend multimineral, because multimineral also contains iron, which might be deficient in some of the ladies, especially if they suffer from something like endometriosis, which leads to a large amount of menstrual flow, and this can make them a bit anemic. So then we would recommend that they use multimineral. And then 2 products we would also want to add there, depending on the situation. We would want to add BetaGuard for detox, especially if we have been dealing with a person who has been maybe overusing certain substances, such as, let us say, alcohol, some drugs, and so on, cannabis, and so on. Then, as we said at the beginning, when they want to, they're preparing or hoping to conceive, then they need to detox from the substances they've been abusing. And BetaGuard can help to support the detox. So in that case, we would also recommend BetaGuard for detox. The other case would be, we would recommend Botanical Balance if there is a situation of problems with sugar metabolism, whether it is pre-diabetes or diabetes itself. Then the person should start using Botanical Balance so that they can normalize their sugar metabolism. So those are the products we would recommend as basics of supporting the reproductive health and extending it to helping some of those particular problems that I mentioned at the end. Then there was a question about supplements to support an expectant mother. And in Neolife, we've got very excellent products for this. The first one in our list will be vitamin B complex, which helps in energy production, as well as the making of blood. So vitamin B complex has actually quite a number of, because the vitamin B family has got a large number of members. It's not just one. That is why it is a complex. And remember, the reason why in Neolife we have it as a complex is because when all the members of the B complex are present, they support each other in their many functions in the body. So it is better than to select just one, like let's say folate, which is a member of the B family, but rather to have a complex because all the others are going to support each other in performing their work in the body. So B complex, first in the list, and then we recommend ProVitality once again. As we know, ProVitality will contain threonine. It will have omega-3 carotenoid complex as well as multi. So this is a heavy hitter that will give a good base of supplementation. If the ProVitality is maybe a bit too costly for the person, we definitely need to have omega-3 salmon oil and threonine for the expectant mom. The omega-3 salmon oil is important in the development of the baby's brain, as well as supporting the mother's cardiovascular health. Then threonine, of course, for cellular nutrition, and so at least those should be there if they would not be able to buy the whole of the ProVitality. But ideally, the ProVitality pack is our second recommendation for supporting expectant mothers. Then we have multimineral alfalfa, which is a mineral preparation that is going to be essential for supporting the needs of both the mother and the baby, because the baby is forming an entirely new skeleton and the mother has to support her own skeleton. Otherwise, the demands of the baby are going to be too much for her. And that is why we might notice that certain mothers, by the time they are giving birth, they start having dental problems. Those dental problems would be the results of not having enough minerals in their diet. So a strong recommendation of multimineral alfalfa as the third one in our list. And then we also recommend aloe vera plus, this one to help in soothing and calming the gut, because quite often expectant mothers will suffer from nausea and maybe at times even vomiting. So in many cases, you'll find that aloe vera plus will help. Not in every case, however, but in quite a number of cases, it is useful to calm the gut. So those are some of the supplements that we recommend to support pregnancy. Of course, we can add a few more, but I think that gives us a good core of supplements for supporting expectant moms. And then I want us to look at a few of the questions that we had to do with illnesses that reduce fertility. So they contribute to a reduced fertility. And I thought since they came as separate questions, I thought it would be good to incorporate them here. So for ladies, I want to mention three. The first one being endometriosis, which manifests as a very heavy bleeding and pain that accompanies sometimes irregular or very heavy periods. And this is found to be due to an overgrowth of uterine cells that sometimes migrate to other parts of the abdomen that is not actually the uterus. And this can lead to quite a bit of trouble. So the cause can be familial or it can be autoimmune. And it can lead as a result to a lot of blood loss and a lot of pain, and can also give difficulties in conceiving. It is found to be aggravated by an unhealthy lifestyle, particularly one that is very rich in refined sugar and heavily refined fried carbohydrates. And for some people, especially the ones who have autoimmune issues, it could be made worse by dairy as well as wheat products. So if someone has this situation, you may want to try to eliminate some of these things from your diet and see if things get better. Then you'd know that they're the ones driving the endometriosis. An addition of acidophilus or fermented foods and foods rich in fiber, or adding fiber tablets, can also be of some help, because as you know, our gut microbiome plays a very important role in dealing with inflammation and dealing with autoimmune problems. So then for the supplements for endometriosis, we would recommend flavonoid complex, which helps in healing the tissue that is damaged by endometriosis. We will also recommend chelated zinc that also supports healing the affected tissues. The third one will be multimineral alfalfa, which will replenish the losses as a result of heavy bleeding. And then omega-3 salmon oil is the fourth one that will help to reduce inflammation. And if you have it in your market, acidophilus to repopulate the gut and help to fight yeast infections, because acidophilus will take care of the yeast problems that sometimes accompany endometriosis. Then as a personal choice, you may want to eliminate the problem foods if you have been able to find foods that are triggering the problem. So we mentioned there it can be something like sugar. For some people, it might be coffee, wheat products, or dairy products. So that then moving on after endometriosis, I wanted to mention about fibroids, which are non-cancerous growths on the walls of the uterus. So those are uterine fibroids. And they are generally found to be mostly harmless, but they can affect the quality of life depending on where they are located and their size. So if they are located very near the rectum of the bladder, they may interfere with the ability to control urination or to control stools, because they will be pressing on the rectum or the bladder if they are close to it, and if the fibroids are large. Then the causes have been associated with different things. So for some cases, they say it might be herpes viruses, or in some cases, they say it could be due to hormonal imbalance. And in some cases, the hormone disruptors that come from plastic residues in food or drinks. And this is why we always recommend that you do not heat or cook food in plastic in the microwave, because it causes the plastic to exude residues into the food when it is heated in the microwave. It is better to transfer the food into a ceramic plate or glass, so that you don't heat the food in the plastic, especially food that contain fats and oils. Then just to mention that women of African origin, that is African race, tend to be more susceptible to fibroids. And for that reason, they need to be even more careful about the use of alcohol and the use of processed foods, because if we are more susceptible, it means that the dosage is going to be what determines. So if we are taking habitually using alcohol and habitually eating processed foods, then where it might not cause fibroids in women of other races, with us of African origin, we may easily find that we develop the fibroids. So just to know that we are more susceptible as people of the African race. And then, as I said, the fibroids themselves may be harmless, but if they become very large, they can impede fertility to a certain degree, and it may be necessary to intervene surgically. They can also lead to heavy menstrual flow, and this might end up in anemia. So what we recommend for fibroids is Betagard to assist the liver detox. We also recommend Cruciferous Plus that helps with these unwanted tissue growths. And then we also recommend multimineral alfalfa to help to replenish the losses from heavy bleeding if it is taking place, and herbal feminine complex to help restore hormonal balance. Then the last one I'll mention about the ladies. Of course, there are others, but we will not speak of all of them. I just selected these three. PCOS, which refers to polycystic ovarian syndrome, where cysts, fluid-filled cysts, form on the ovaries. So it can be the cause of absent periods, that is not having any periods, and also irregular periods, that don't come regularly every month. PCOS is linked to problems with sugar metabolism. So it could be that the person already has diabetes, or they are in the stage of prediabetes, or they are just beginning the problems of sugar metabolism. So this is a place to watch. If you have this diagnosis that you have PCOS, then it is important to take steps to deal with the situation as if you already have pre-diabetes or diabetes, even if your results do not show that, because it is one of the signs. Then the PCOS can lead to a hormonal imbalance due to overproduction of testosterone, so that as a woman, you would be having more testosterone than you should be having in your system, which will throw off the fine-tuned balance of the hormones that govern the women's reproductive cycles. So for that reason, it's important that we deal with the PCOS by taking steps to resolve our sugar metabolism problems. And then another thing that is observed is that if a woman who has PCOS falls pregnant, they can easily develop what is called gestational diabetes. So that even if before they fell pregnant, they did not actually have full-blown diabetes, the diabetes can now come together with the pregnancy, because a lot of changes take place in a person's body during pregnancy. And one of the things that might happen is that there might be food cravings that make the person take sugary things that they would otherwise not be taking. And this, if you're already on the brink of diabetes, can actually lead to full-blown diabetes. So for that reason, it is important to deal with this as a person is hoping and planning to conceive, and also just for general health. So the usual lifestyle choices: eliminate sugar, refined grain, and factory oils, remove hormone disruptors to as much as you're able to. And then if you're a smoker, to stop smoking. And the supplements we'll recommend for PCOS, first of all, will be botanical balance to regulate blood sugar. And then we recommend, in addition, herbal feminine complex to balance the hormones, and Pro-Vitality for general supplementation, and especially because the omega-3 is going to help to fight the inflammation that might accompany the PCOS. Then let us turn our attention to the men. So with men, I also was looking at 2 or 3 situations that can reduce fertility. The first one, of course, would be erectile dysfunction, or what will be referred to as impotence. And this is the inability to have or to sustain erection. And this, of course, would interfere with the sexual intercourse itself. The causes of erectile dysfunction are many and varied. It could be as a result of stress. It can be the result of obesity or abnormally high blood pressure. And it can also be the result of hormonal imbalance. And also the use of certain medications can cause erectile dysfunction. Particularly, some people find that when they are using high blood pressure medication, it can lead to this. So this is not to say that a person who is on high blood pressure medication should stop the medication. What we'd recommend is for them to resolve their blood pressure problems so that they no longer need to take the medication, which might be at the root of the erectile dysfunction. Then, of course, substance abuse can lead to this dysfunction, and also some illnesses and so on. So here, what we would recommend on a personal side is to incorporate exercise, especially strength exercises like lifting weights and resistant exercises, because this is going to increase the level of testosterone in the man's blood, and this is going to assist with erectile dysfunction. In addition to that, we would have the Neolife supplements that will support. This is a masculine herbal complex to stabilize the male hormones, chelated zinc to support the male reproductive system, as well as omega-3 salmon oil to improve cardiovascular health, the health of the blood vessels. For men, this is especially important because sustaining erection requires that the blood vessels are working well to supply blood to the reproductive organs. And then we can also recommend aloe vera plus to help with managing stress. But as always with stress, we recommend that you find a way to resolve the stress. You may need to take certain measures in your life to eliminate where you can and to manage where the elimination of the stressor is not possible. Then we also have the prostate problems, which tends to occur as men get older, that the prostate might start by being inflamed, or as a result of the inflammation, it might become enlarged. So in the case of prostate problems, one may need to see a doctor just in case it's the result of an infection. It can lead to the irritation of the bladder and difficulties with urinating. So for that reason, it can also contribute to erectile dysfunction or pain during intercourse. And in that way, it can contribute to reduced fertility. Then, so that means that it is actually not that there is a problem with the sperm, but rather with the sexual intercourse itself. And then another problem that affects the prostate gland is that the gland might become enlarged. And this tends to be common as men reach middle-aged and older. And it can actually not only contribute to problems with erection, it can also contribute to problems with urination and also with the kidney. So for this reason, we recommend that to take care and in fact to be proactive with taking care of the prostate gland. As men reach middle age, they should habitually use cruciferous plus as part of their baseline supplementation, because some of the cases of enlarged prostate are merely a matter of the length of time a person has been alive, so just a matter of age. So once we know that it's the result of age, then we start giving the body what it needs to maintain the health of the prostate gland. Then in addition to that, it is recommended that we have exercise, especially if the man is having a sedentary lifestyle. And we also recommend that they increase the amount of vegetables. If they are overweight, to take measures to normalize body weight as far as possible and to avoid unhealthy lifestyle choices that can be lowering the levels of testosterone, because testosterone, apart from being a reproductive hormone, is very important for men's general health. So for men to have a good health, testosterone plays an important role. And if it becomes very low, then it is going to be outweighed by the level of estrogen, which is the other hormone. So men need to have a higher testosterone as compared to women. But if their testosterone levels start dropping, they are going to find that the estrogen is coming up, and they will develop certain of the features that they may not find too attractive for themselves. So for that reason, exercise and good healthy lifestyle choices are important. In addition to that, we add our Neolife supplements, which are crucial for the health of the prostate, of which is cruciferous plus, to retard and reverse the process of prostate problems. Herbal masculine complex, again, excuse me, for maintaining the balance of the male hormones, and chelated zinc, as I mentioned before. Then last in this list, I want to add their problems to do with a cause for decreased fertility in men will be problems to do with the sperms themselves. It could be the concentration of sperms in the semen. It could be that it is too low. So this would be shown in a sperm count. It could be that the sperms themselves, the actual cells, are not good swimmers because they need to be able to move well in order to reach their destination. And then in some cases, there may be autoimmune problems where the body is producing antibodies that are attacking the sperm. And sometimes also it might be the woman's body which is producing antibodies against the sperm. So these are problems that we will have very many different origins. And so as distributors, we would not exactly be able to say what is going on and whether the supplements can help. But as always, we give the supplements is to provide the body with what it needs, and then the body itself will be able to solve the problems that can be solved. Sperm problems are often linked to habitual use of pornography and masturbation, as well as frequent exposure to hormone disruptors. So these are things that might or might not be in the lifestyle, but the necessary steps can be taken in order to deal with them where possible. And our supplements, as always, are there to help the body to deal with the things that it can deal with. And where this is not adequate, then of course, it's always important that we work hand in hand with the medical practitioners in case, for instance, there may be a need for surgical intervention or other kinds of intervention. So I think that I will leave my session at that point. And I hope that even though I think we have jumped from here to there, we have been able to answer some of the questions that came from last week's training and remarks. And I want to then thank you for spending this time with me for the training today. I hope that it has been beneficial to you and informative. And now I'd like to hand you over to Pascal, who is going to finish our session today with the business information that is going to be useful for you as you build your business. But I wish you all the best as we finish the month of April. And I want to wish those in South Africa who are today celebrating an important holiday. I wish all the best to the nation of South Africa and the people in it. And for all of you distributors who have joined me this evening, thank you very much for your time and attention. And here is Pascal now, ready to take you through the next session.
Thank you very much, Betty. Every time I listen to product sessions, I'm amazed at the complexity and also the beauty of the human body. There is so much to learn about the human body and its health. The session I want to take you through today is two things. One is the structure of business. What I mean by structure is, if you're new in the business, take time and go and read the compensation plan. What is a compensation plan? What are we paid for the work we do in your life? So read through that. The other thing that I want to talk about is building structure is what gives you the freedom in the business. I mean, today is Freedom Day in South Africa. One of the reasons why this business is very unique, this business offers you a sense of freedom that if you build your business correctly, you will not get it anywhere in any other kind of business, okay? Because if you build a business properly, you will find that the business grows with or without you. So if you'll allow me, I want to share this with you from the current slide. Okay. This is called, just one moment. Let me share the screen with you. Okay. What I want to talk to you about is building structure. What is building structure? Building structure means that you build your business with the idea that you want your business to qualify at certain levels month after month. If I go back to the basics of our business, what is the basics of our business? The basics of our business is, number one, using the products. Number two, sharing the business and the products. And sharing the products means you need to learn how to retail products, because we are paid for moving the products from Neolife to different users, to different customers. So retailing products requires a number of things. One, you need product knowledge. Just this the wonderful session Betty has just done. You need to listen to your customers, keep in touch with them, and get to know your customers. Number two is build a team, recruit, sponsor people in the business. Start with a name list of prospects. Prepare preparation to invite them correctly to look at the business. Learn to tell your story. Follow up, and close. Now, two things I want to discuss with you today. Number one is building width, and number two, building depth. What do those two terms mean? Building width means the people you sponsor directly under you, the people we call personal legs. The idea is for you to go wide 4 to 6 as quickly as possible. How do you do that? By sharing the business. Start with a name list, 100 or more, then learn how to invite by asking the right questions. In fact, one of the keys to success in life is being able to ask the right questions. Once you learn how to ask the right questions, you invite people to look at the business, learn how to show the plan for those who are interested, and then follow up and close the people who said, yes, I'm interested. What do I do? The fortune is in the follow-up. My experience is that at any one time, people are in different phases of decision-making. Some people will look at the business and say, yes, I want to do this business. Some people will look at the business and say, I want to think about it. Some people will look at the business and say, well, maybe I'll join in 2 weeks' time, or in 3 weeks' time, or call me in 3 months' time. People are different. And if you want to sponsor people on a regular basis, you need to have a number of people in the different processes, in different stages of decision-making. Okay? And that's what you call a funnel. You need to have a number of people who are making decisions at different stages. That is building width. Building width simply means that you sponsor people directly under yourself, different legs. But you need to understand why you sponsor people. You sponsor people to build directors. That is what because if you look at, let me see if I can get our compensation plan so that we have an idea on what, just give me one moment. It's very important for us to know that we sponsor people so that we can develop directors in our business. Why do we? Because that is the way we get maximum benefit from the business. If you look at our compensation plan, just give me one moment. I want to open the compensation plan so that I can show you what it is that I mean by the need to build the business properly, building width and building depth, because your greatest reward will be if you build different directors properly. Just give me one moment. I open the document. Okay. Okay, this is our compensation plan. If you want maximum benefit from this business, build other directors. This chart shows you Sapphire director. If you build one director legs and 10,000 PV, your income level goes up. If you build 3 director legs, your income level goes up again. 2 ruby, 3 ruby, 4 ruby. From 4 ruby and above, that means 6 director legs and 100,000 qualifying group PV. That is PV of you and 3 level of directors. Okay? But why is that important? Why is it important to do that? If you look at the bonus chart, the leadership development bonus chart, if you're a director, the first level director, you get, apart from the sales volume bonus, you get the leadership development bonus, 5% first level, 2% second level, 1% third level. If you look at the top of that, 4 ruby director, if you become a 4 ruby director, you get 6% first level, 4% second level, 4% third level. These percentages look very little, but remember, this is your entire group volume. That is the amount of bonus that you get. So it's important that you learn how to build the structure correctly, because that is what helps your business to grow. So you build with the people you sponsor directly, and then build depth. The idea is to, in the long term, you need to get a leg growing 12 to 14 levels deep. How do you do that? Work on the taproot. Taproot simply means each leg, work with the newest people in that leg. People who are willing to work, that's a qualification. Don't work with people who don't want to work. Work with people who are willing to work, who will listen to you, who will follow your advice how to grow the business. Teach each person to go wide as above. Each person who joins the business, teach them also to go wide and work with the willing. If you look at this simple chart, when you start the business, you need to go 6 wide as quickly as possible, and each of those 6 legs, you need to go 3 deep. If you do that, you're likely to grow a director-sized business with this simple process. Go wide as soon as possible, and then find 3 legs or more to work with. The goal is to go 12 deep in each of those legs. But how do you do this? First and foremost, sponsor 6 people as quickly as possible, and then in each of these legs, go 3 deep. That will give you a director volume. And if you work with a director volume, you will find that you'll begin to develop different directors. The other aspect you need to think about is focus on what duplicates, not what works for you. Because people have got different skills. The simpler your business, the faster it grows. So focus on what duplicates. Keep sponsoring always, because let me say you sponsor 3 very excited people, and after 2 or 3 months, they all become directors. You can't depend on their volume to qualify as a director. You need other new legs to qualify as director, because these people are out of your nursery. That's the term we use in our business. That's why you need to keep sponsoring, so that you have new people who help you qualify as a director. Then develop the right attitude for building this business. How do you do that? That leads me to the next thing, which is personal development. Personal development simply means you pay attention to the things you do every day to improve your mind, to improve your attitude, to improve your health, to improve your spirit or your soul. That is what really personal development is. And this requires patience. Sometimes we take a book, we read 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 days, 5 days, we don't see any immediate result, then we think this thing does not work. There is a video I wanted to share with you. Let me see if I can get it. Alan, can you see the video? Hi, Alan, can you hear me? Let me see. Who is Jacqueline Kyo? If you see the video, please just put your hand up so that I'm sure that I have put the right document in the. Okay, all right. Thanks. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, Williams. Angao, thank you. I want you to just have a look at this video and tell me what you see. Okay, that's, I came across this video some time back, and it drove home for me the 2 things. One, the power of persistence, which is linked to patience, and 2, to have faith that what you're doing is not wasted. You see, this gentleman, that's his craft. He breaks rocks and he uses chisels and a hammer. That's all. But what he does, he drills very small holes around the rock. Then he starts hitting all of them using a mallet. Slowly and with consistency and constantly, after about an hour, he breaks the whole rock. That is what happens in personal development. When you don't get engaged in personal development, you don't see the immediate effect. It's very easy to give up. Just like this gentleman, when he hits the one chisel at a time, he doesn't see the immediate effect, but he kept doing it until he broke the rock. That is what personal development does. You need to have a daily schedule of, number one, the books you read. I would not recommend you read. You know, when I started the business, I had a habit of collecting so many books. I have a lot of books in my library. But later on, I began to realize that if you really want to get the benefit of the books you've bought, select a few key books and read those books over and over and over and over again. That's when you'll get the true value of those books. Until you're able to, in fact, quote or verbatim, until the principles in those books get into your subconscious mind, that's when success will come. But you need to be patient. Personal development requires constant patience, daily habit. You are not paid because of what you want. You're paid as a result of who you are or the person you have become. And you also attract to yourself the person that you are. If you want hardworking people, be hardworking. If you want positive people, have a positive attitude. If you want people with ambitions, become ambitious. You will attract the people you have become yourself. So, a few ideas. Number one, select a book that you're going to read for 15 minutes every day. There are some very good books recommended in the Getting Started document. Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, How I raised myself from failure to success through selling, GoPro, fantastic books. Get just one or two books and start reading those books 15 minutes every day. The first time, read that book as if you're reading a story. The next time, read the book with a marker pen or with a pen. If you find something that catches your attention, write it down. Okay. In fact, buy a book, a notebook that you summarize each book within 3 or 4 pages, because when you go over, you're able to remember the principles of those books. So, have 15 minutes of reading a book every day. Number 2, listen to positive materials every day. Number 3, get into an exercise program. You need to strengthen your body. Okay. Number 4, good diet. Select the kinds of food that you don't just eat anything. Number 5, read books to do with relationships, because the key thing that keeps our business together is sound relationship. If you have good relationships in this business, your business will grow. You know, I can't tell you the joy of somebody coming to you at a weekend rally or a convention. They started the business and you've helped them, you've guided them, you've helped them, they become a director, SAFA director, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, and they've come from a very tough situation and they've become very successful. They come to you with thanksgiving and tears in their eyes. You can't buy experience with money. And that's the joy of our business. You need just make sure that if you can help 3, 4, or even 5 people reach that level of success, yours is guaranteed. Because a 3 rupee director is a person who has helped 5 people become successful. That is really what a 3 rupee director is. It sounds very simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes you, first and foremost, building yourself. So personal development is a very key aspect of growing the business. If you want success in the business, grow yourself, the people who are serious in your team will emulate what you are doing. They will start reading books every day. They will start attending training every day. Every single information they want, they're going to look for it. In fact, there's a very simple indication to know who is a leader or not. Number one, they keep asking you questions. Number two, you will always find them with the book they're reading. Number three, they seek advice and they follow your guidance. Number four, they repeat what they hear in leadership training sessions. These are very simple things to know who is somebody who's going to build a long-term business or not. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, those are the few ideas I wanted to share with you. Number one, building depth. Building depth means you sponsor people, building structure. Building structure. Building structure has got two aspects. The first one is building width. That is the people you sponsor directly under you. Why are you sponsoring them? To help them become directors. How do you help them become directors? You build depth in their team. You teach them the basics. Once they've learned the basics, then you teach somebody in their downline those same basics. You keep going down until you meet 3, 4, or 5 people in that leg who are serious about the business. If you keep doing that, your business will grow. And that is what is building width is. But two things that helps that structure to grow. Number one is personal development, and number two, friendship. Friendship is very important in this business because it's the glue that keeps your business together. If you do that, your business will grow. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you very much for spending this evening with us. I want to thank Alan. Alan has just come back from leave. He's very excited and motivated to build a business once again, help the team build a business. I want to thank Alan for hosting our session today. Thank you very much. God bless and good night.